So many of you got to number 4 and kind of went, oh, I don't know what to do with this. And so I'm going to explain a couple of things to you that we did in 7th grade that you seem to have forgotten. This is a description of a square. ABCD is a square of side x centimeters. And the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is draw a picture of that every time. So I'm going to draw a square, and I'm going to try to make sense of this ABCD. A lot of you guys put A on the sides, BCD. These letters always describe the vertices of a shape. So it's A, B, C, D. It doesn't matter which vertex is which letter, that just describes your square. The length of the side is x centimeters. So each side is x centimeters long. Okay? The next one we look at is this PQRS. It's a rectangle. Notice I don't even really go on until I've done that. And it's PQRS. Let me label it P, Q, R, and S. And it's a rectangle. What dimensions? Let's see. X plus 3 on one side by x minus 3 on the other side. Those are its dimensions. So this is how long it is, and this is how tall it is. All right? The question they ask is, find the perimeter of ABCD. A lot of you guys had a hard time knowing the difference between perimeter and area. Okay? Area is how much coverage it gets. Perimeter is if you walk around, how far you go. Now, if I walk around this thing, how far do I go? I go x, and another x, and another x, and another x, which is x plus x plus x plus x, which is 4 times x. Remember, multiplication is just addition on steroids. It describes how many x's there are when we multiply. Some of you did x times x times x times x, so you did x to the 4th right here. No. That's not, it doesn't work. This next question says find the perimeter of PQRS. Well, it's the same thing. If this is x plus 3 and this is x plus 3, and this is x minus 3 and this is x minus 3, I have to add all those together to get my perimeter. So the perimeter is all the sides added together, which is x minus 3 plus x minus 3 plus x plus 3 plus x plus 3. And it's that easy. And if I want to simplify this, I simply add everything together. Let me drop the parentheses. Since these are all pluses in between, I don't have to really distribute anything. So that leaves me with x minus 3 plus x minus 3 plus x minus 3 plus x minus 3. And because of the commutative property, I can add these together. X plus x plus x plus x is 4x. And a negative 3 minus 3 is a negative 6. Whoops. Plus 3 is a negative 3. Plus 3 is 0. So I'm left with a perimeter of 4x here and 4x there. Ask yourself if that's possible. If you want to dwell on it, go ahead and dwell on it. Pause the video and dwell on that for a minute and ask yourself why that's possible. Okay? Now it asks us to find the area of ABCD. And a lot of you guys, once again, were confused. You went a to the x to the 4th power, or you just weren't sure. A lot of you also wrote 2x. None of those are right. You got to think about it. How do you find the area of a square? It's this side times this side. It's one side times the other side, which is just x times x, which is x squared. For example, if I have a square that has side length of 2 and side length of 2, well, what that means is 1, 2, and 1, 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. A lot of you did x to the 4th. Well, that would mean you're multiplying 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, which would give you 16, and it's obvious that there aren't 16 squares in there, are there? You're overdoing it if you put x to the fourth. It's simply x squared. This side times this side. Okay? That side times that side. Which tells you the area of PQRS does the same thing. Here's PQRS, which means I have to multiply this length right here by this length right here. So I have x minus 3 times x plus 3. Can you see why this stuff applies? This is exactly what we're doing on the previous pages. Let's distribute. X times x is x squared. X times a positive 3 is a positive 3x. Negative 3 times x is a negative 3x. And negative 3 times positive 3 is, I almost put a positive, as a negative 9. This is why I have you guys not do your math in pen. Those two terms cancel out, and I find that the area of PQRS is equal to x squared minus 9. So the area of ABCD is x squared. The area of PQRS is x squared minus 9. That would mean that the area of this rectangle is smaller than the area of this rectangle by 9. Can you see that? So a lot of you guys, when you read this last question, what is the difference in area between the two rectangles? You were thinking of in terms of difference like language arts type of difference. I'm talking about the math difference, the mathematical difference. And a lot of you guys said there aren't two rectangles, one of them's a square. Got news for you. Squares are rectangles. They're just a special kind of rectangle whose sides are all the same. Okay? So the truth is, the difference in area is 9. Because this rectangle is 9 smaller than this one. And that's kind of the end of that basic story problem, and it's very applicable to what we've been doing as far as learning how to do quadratics and how to multiply binomials together. All right, and that has a lot of value when you're working in physics, engineering, some of those things. You use this all the time. Okay, thank you.